Hey friends, this video is on the eponymous signs of the thyroid ophthalmopathy. As you may be knowing, various ocular changes are taking place in the case of thyroid diseases. In this video, only the named signs will be discussed in two sessions. In the first session, we will be discussing the important ones with some tips and tricks, and in the second session, all the eye signs would be discussed in a row. Coming to our main topic, that is the eye signs of the thyroid ophthalmopathy. The eye signs can be classified as lid signs, facial signs, extraocular muscle signs, and the pupillary signs. Under lid signs, you can see lid retraction, that is caused by the overactivity of the involuntary part of the levator palpebrae superioris muscle. Next sign is the lid lag sign, which means the upper eyelid cannot keep pace with the eyeball when it looks downwards following an examiner's finger. Besides lid retraction and lid lag, there would be edema of lids and sometimes the tremor of lids can be seen. In the lid retraction, the first sign is Dalrymple sign, and to remember that, remember the L and R of the lid retraction and then you can write down the Dalrymple sign. In this, you can note the rim return. So just remember that in this sign, a rim of sclera is seen all around the cornea on looking straight forward. The next sign is Kocher's sign. In Kocher's sign, there is increased lid retraction with visual fixation so that the upper sclera is clearly visible. The third sign is Abadi's sign. Who is our bad guy in this lid retraction? That would necessarily be our levator palpebrae superioris muscle. So just remember, in the Abadi's sign, the spasm of the levator palpebrae superioris muscle is causing the retraction of the upper eyelid. Next, coming on to the lid lag sign. In the lid lag sign, it is the Vaughan-Griffith sign. To remember this, remember that lid, lag and Vaughan are having 3 letters each. What happens in lid lag sign? As I told you earlier, the upper eyelid cannot keep pace with the eyeball when it looks down following an examiner's finger moving downwards from above. The sign corresponding to lid edema is the Enroth sign. See, the E and E correspond in the edema and Enroth. The sign corresponding to lid tremor is the Rosenbach sign. Imagine a rose in your hand and your hand is shaking, and that would help you to remember the Rosenbach sign. Coming on to the facial signs. So remember here that the lids are still. So still, the sign is Stellwach's sign. And here what happens is there is an incomplete and infrequent blinking of eyelids leading to a staring look. Now next, notice the forehead creases. So the forehead creases may be present or may not be present when the patient is asked to look up. So it may be present or may be absent. If present, there would be delayed. If absent, you can remember off. So off for Geoffroy's sign. And if present but delayed, you can remember on, that is Saint-On's sign. Coming on to the next sign, notice the eyebrows. So in these patients, there might be a loss of lateral third of the eyebrows and the corresponding sign is Hertoge's sign. In this, from the Her, you can remember Queen Anne's sign. Hertoge's sign, another name is Queen Anne's sign. Coming on to the next sign, notice the hyperpigmentation on the superior eye folds. For hyperpigmentation, remember ink. And comes our next sign, that is the Jelinek sign for the hyperpigmentation of the superior eye folds. Coming on to our next set of signs, that is the extraocular muscle sign. The first one is Mobius sign. From the word Mobius itself, we can derive out what it stands for. That is M is for medial, Mob is for mobility, I is US for unsuccessful. Here medial mobility is unsuccessful. What does that mean? It means that there is a difficulty in convergence for the patient. The next sign is Ballad sign. For remembering this sign, remember the ballad dance. So what helps in the movement of our eyes? It is the extraocular muscle. So in Ballad sign, one or more extraocular muscle motility is restricted. Coming on to the pupil sign. The first one is Cowen's sign. Remember a cow that is a jerk or something? In this, there is jerky pupillary constriction to light. And the next one is Loeys sign. Remember the low in it? It means that there is mydriasis with installation of a lower concentration of adrenaline. Let's take a quick recap of all the eye signs that we have discussed so far. So under the lid signs, there was lid retraction signs, that is the Dalrymple sign, Kocher sign, Abadie sign. Lid lag signs were the von Graefe sign. Lid edema signs, the Enroth sign. Lid tremor sign, Rosenbach sign. Facial signs are Stellwag sign, Geoffroy sign, Saint-Anne sign, Hertoge's or Queen Anne sign, and the Jelinek sign. Extraocular muscle sign are the Mobius sign and the Ballard sign. Pupil signs are the Cohen sign and the Loeys sign. Of course, there are other signs also which we will be discussing now. So the lid signs, Dalrymple sign, in which the remosclera is seen all around the cornea. In the Kocher sign, there is increased lid retraction with visual fixation giving a staring look. In Abadie's sign, the spasm of levator palpebrae superioris muscle occurs with the retraction of the upper lid. In Groove's sign, there is resistance to pulling down the retracted upper lid. In the Gifford sign, there is a difficulty in everting the upper eyelid. So both the signs starting with G, there is a resistance or difficulty because of the retracted lid. Now on to other lid signs. The Vigerock sign is the eyelid fullness or swelling. Enroth sign is due to the edematous swelling of the lid. Von Graefe sign refers to the lid lag sign. Next is the Boston sign, which refers to the jerky irregular movement of the upper lid on downward gaze. The Rosenbach sign refers to the fine tremors of the upper eyelid on slight closure of the eyes. The Reisman sign refers to the bruit heard over the closed eye with a stethoscope. On to the facial signs. First one is the Stellwag sign, which refers to the incomplete and infrequent blinking of eyes leading to a staring look. Next is Geoffroy's sign, which refers to the absent creases on the forehead on superior gaze, that is on looking upwards. Saint-Anne sign refers to the delayed forehead wrinkling on superior gaze. Hertog's sign or Queen Anne sign refers to the loss of lateral third of eyebrows. The Jelinek sign refers to the hyperpigmentation of the superior eye folds, and sometimes this hyperpigmentation may be seen on the inferior eyelid, and that is the Tellas sign. On to the extraocular muscle signs. First is the Mobius sign, in which there is an inability to converge the eyeballs on looking to a nearby object. Ballard sign refers to the restriction of one or more extraocular movement. Gendrasik sign refers to the limitation of abduction and rotation of eyeballs. Wilder sign refers to the jerking of the eye or moving from abduction to adduction. Zucker's sign refers to the poor visual fixation on abduction movement. Next on to the pupillary sign. These are the Cohen's sign, in which there is a jerky pupillary constriction to light. The Loeys sign, in which there is mydriasis, that is pupillary dilatation with installation of lower concentration of adrenaline. In the Knies sign, there is an unequal dilatation of pupil in dim light. Coming on to certain other signs, that is the Goltziher sign, in which there is deep injection of the bulbar conjunctiva, especially on the temporal side. Deep injection means that there is increased hyperemia of the bulbar conjunctiva. Next is the Paine-Trousseau sign, which refers to globe luxation, that is the displacement of globe. The Sattler sign, in which there is increased intraocular pressure on looking upwards. Next one is the Nausziger sign. In this, we have to stand behind the patient, and on standing behind, the patient's neck is extended and the examiner looks from behind along the superior orbital margin of the patient. If the eyeball is seen beyond the superior orbital margin, then it means the patient has exophthalmos. Next is the Topolansky sign, wherein around the insertion areas of four recti muscles of the eyeball, a vascular band network is noticed, and this joins the four insertion points of the recti muscles. So yes, that was all about the eponymous eye signs. If you know of any more eponymous signs or you know how to remember them, then please do mention that in the comment section below. Thank you.